Hello everyone, and welcome back to the patch notes with Terry. Today we are starting at the bottom because, well, first of all, there's a lot to unpack here, so maybe sit back for a bit. But we're starting at the bottom because what I think is the most important item, of course, is at the very bottom of the patch notes. Prioritizing smooth sailing, technical updates ahead. This is effectively, once again, acknowledging that, yes, there are problems with logins and connectivity and stability and everything else. And they are prioritizing that, which I would really have loved to be the first item on the list, because I'm not sure if everybody reads to the end of these very long patch notes without sort of rage quitting in the middle, that this hasn't been addressed. So that's the thing, and hopefully we'll get somewhere with this whole affair, because, you know, there's really no point in doing much other stuff if the game stability isn't there and people just can't actually play. But long story has been trodden to death, so let's focus on what else is new in these patch notes, and we'll actually now go all the way up to the top and start with what's new and noteworthy. We have a download optimization. So previously, when you had updates, you had to, well, download the whole game and effectively reinstall it. And it appears that they're now doing this a little bit more granular. So there are content packs, there are other packs, ship packs. So instead of having to re-download the whole thing every single time, you get sort of a more granular update path for various items, which is a good thing to have that modular. I mean, we still can't complain. I don't know if any of you has ever played console, but I've seen my kids' Xbox, and something like Halo had to be updated. Yeah, that's another 50 gigabytes because you had to re-download the whole darn thing from scratch. So when he went like, oh, I just want to play a quick round of Halo. Yeah, no, sunshine, you're going to have to re-download 50 gigabytes, and that might take 3 to 6 hours depending on how busy it gets. Anyway, so for new players, and I think this is the way that some games like War Thunder and even World of Tanks is actually working, in that you on mobile, in that you just download modules as you need it, rather than having to download everything from the get-go. So there's a bit around detecting Wi-Fi as well to save on your mobile data, and people can fortunately get the choice. So one of the things that I really dislike is that a lot of things don't work when they assume that you can only use Wi-Fi for large downloads. I actually have on my mobile plan, I think like 180 gigabytes per month or something, which is way more than I need. But it's almost the smallest I can get at this point. And oftentimes I don't want to use Wi-Fi because right now I'm out of Wi-Fi range, or I'm on the go and I just want to update something. So giving me the option to actually use mobile data when available is a good thing. And download priority. So there's a lot of this. But much more interestingly, super ships. What are super ships? Well, they're basically tier 11s, but also not. So the way this seems to be working is that it's an event. So this sounds like it's temporary, and we'll see it from time to time. So it's not tier 11 in that you can just grind another tier from the tech tree and then you own the ship and then it's yours, you can play it as you see fit. But people can sort of unlock super ships by researching them. You can purchase them, but then after that you have to exchange something for to be actually able to play the ship. So you can purchase a maximum of 10 usages per super ship, and I don't know what we have to purchase that with. It only says resources, but it's kind of look, I'm a little hesitant from what this sounds like. We'll have to see what it actually is, but this gives me these sort of fuel consumable vibes, you know, like some games have especially mobile games have this weird system where they artificially introduce a scarcity of something, and then you have that scarce resource, and you can either wait for it to refill or you have to actually spend money to refill it. And it gives a little bit of these vibes, but I don't know anything about it. So we'll have to see how it goes, because it isn't quite clear what sort of resources you need in order to purchase the usage of a super ship. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. You can apparently trial it out without having fully unlocking them. So that sounds great, especially if it's a new system of an additional thing that you need in order to be able to play the ship. So and then when the event's over, you'll no longer be able to actually use the ship, and you get some stuff. You get some stuff refunded. And given that the usage refund here says it's converted back into free XP and silver, it almost sounds like it may be a free XP sink that allows to purchase super ship usages. So this might be a good thing on top for top tier players who've unlocked everything and have enough of all the resources, and just want to have somewhere to spend them for. So that might be something. And then specific matchmaking rules are there for super ships in order to make it fair. So that'll be interesting. Equal number of super ships, obviously. So you've got to have the same number on both sides. Now, depending on which kind of super ships that we get, this might also be interesting. So let's say one side has a super ship battleship, the other side has a super ship destroyer. It'll depend very much what the rest of the matchmaking is looking like to see who's got the advantage here, because super ships aren't going to be all equal, right? The same way that ships currently aren't all equal. So just by saying that a ship is a super ship, the value of the super ship in the game probably depends largely on how the rest of the team is being match made. So we'll see how that turns out, because number 2 says type flexibility. One team could have different types of models of super ships than the other. So yes, you are definitely going to be having scenarios where one team gets, let's say, a super battleship, the other one gets a super cruiser, and then you have to figure that out how it goes from there. But it's not just pitting the super ships against each other; it's also pitting the super ships against the rest of the team. So bot inclusion, and this is great, because one of the things Sly47 has made an amazing video recently about. Wargaming, please fix these things and stuff we really need to address. And one of them was bots. And I've been harping on about bots for ages, that it's plainly an embarrassment at this point to see bots just spin in circles and do crazy dances to avoid torpedoes, negate your smoke screens, all that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous. So one of my suggestions in the comments was, can we just disable bots? Right? Can we just have 1v1s, or only put bots in if there's really no other ship, if you're basically playing against bots because there's nobody else on the server. But as soon as you find other players, make it 1v1s or 2v2s. It's still more engaging than dealing with these stupid things. So it sounds like for the super ships, there will not be bots, which means that we could very well see super ship versus super ship 1v1 battles or something like that. Because if bots are excluded and no one else is on the server, and you need to have another super ship, it either means that if you're playing a super ship and no one else is around having one, you're sitting there and waiting, or it means you end up in relatively small teams, which could make that quite interesting as well. So we will see how that all turns out in practice. Definitely some thought seems to have gone into this in terms of balancing, which is very good. Next up on the new and noteworthy list, we have the commander system upgrade, and we're now having commander talents. And this sounds almost a bit like from Legends, that you have sort of additional things that you can unlock at some point. The specialized capabilities and available to commanders at levels 13, 14, and 15. So they effectively added new commander levels, and this is like the legendary talents on Warship Legends for the commanders. So once you're past 12, you get free commander XP, which you currently can use. So this is a relatively unknown type of free XP, but free commander XP, which you can, I think, use to retrain the commanders if you need to swap them around ships. And you then, once you reach level 13, so we're effectively opening up additional levels for commanders, then you choose some form of talent, and it's a path that then follows for 14 and 15, so not per section or per level selection. And it seems like it's not resettable, so that will be quite interesting, but I hope that it is, because otherwise testing it out on the press account is going to be rather interesting. The talents are working a little differently, because the usual commandership skills are more or less passive buffs, but talents appear to have activation requirements. So you get the fireworks effects, and this is straight up out of PC. So you've got things like after 100 hits with secondary guns, you get the secondary reload improved, that sort of thing. So this is great, and I think this is a really good expansion. Commanders need work, especially that a lot of the commander skills don't really make too much sense. But having additional levels for commanders, again, it's another late game. So just like the super ships, this is we need to do something for the players that have unlocked everything, and they need a new challenge. That seems to be sort of the direction this is going. So we've now got Commander Free XP, which is replacing the Commander Elite XP, which was the thing that you, after reached level 12, you got Commander Elite XP. It's free XP, and you could use that to reset the commander. So now you can use that to level up any commander, which is nice. Because I don't think that worked that way before. I think you had to use actual free XP if it wasn't the same commander. You could only use it to retrain the same commander if you switched him to a different tech tree ship. But I'm not 100% on that. Definitely retrain commanders, and you can use it to reset the choices. So that's actually potentially big. Because you could use free XP previously to reset commanders, but it was prohibitively expensive. So we'll have to see how much is actually required to do that. Because one of my biggest gripes with the commander system, and one of the suggestions that I've also made, was we really need to get away from having to use gold to reset commander skills. Legends, for example, you can reset commander skills for free. And that's what we should aim to do here as well. You should be able to just play around with different skills, figure out how things work, rather than being forced, especially as a new player, being forced into a particular path while having no idea what you're doing just yet, and then having to spend real money to reset your choices from early in the game. It shouldn't be there. And as we've seen in Legends, it doesn't have to be there, and it's also a wargaming title. So if we're working our way slowly towards the more flexibility when it comes to this kind of road tolls, let me call it that, then that's a good thing. And so all the existing Commander Elite XP will be converted. Talent reset, interesting, because they said, I think earlier, that you can't reset it, but there is... we'll see what that looks like, if that is only affecting the level 13, 14, and 15 talents, or if this is also reflecting the regular commander skills. So, and how much this is going to cost. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to have to see. And there's an actual wiki page about it. Wiki page, they probably mean in-game. So we'll check that out once the update comes out. And then we'll see we'll see what this is all about then. A new tagline, more aircraft carriers, because that's what everyone's been asking for, more aircraft carriers. And of course, they're more American aircraft carriers. So we will see what their gimmick is. Because, I mean, obviously one gripe with the American aircraft carriers is the Insta Triple Fire feature. The fire and forget Insta Triple Fire feature. Where you set your dive bombers onto an enemy ship, you forget about them, and you set triple fires, and that's it. So we get 3 new carriers, a tier 6, a tier 8, and a tier 10. So it's a minor branch. And we'll see what they're like, and we'll see what their specialty is. We get the Princeton, the Yorktown, and the Wasp. So an upgraded Essex. And these will be in early access in late November, so that'll get interesting. I am probably not really going to be playing them much beyond tier 6 because I am not very good at aircraft, especially if these turn out to be torpedo bomber focused. But we'll see what they're coming up with. We've got obviously more premium ships, some British thing that sounds like it's probably from some collaboration if I had to guess. We get an Italian aircraft carrier, so more aircraft carriers. So this might hint towards a potential Italian aircraft carrier line. Well, once we get the Swedish aircraft and the Swedish super battleship line, we definitely know that we've been firmly arriving in fantasy territory. We get another Japanese destroyer, a Kagero variant. We get a Benson variant, and we get some event ships by the looks of it. Then there's a Black Lion, a Black Hindi, okay, and a Black Conqueror. Well, we'll see if it's any better than the real Conqueror. But what we all wanted to know, what are the super ships? So we are going to get 2 super ships by the looks of it, for now. We're going to get the Satsuma, which is basically a 20-inch Yamato. So she will get the Incomparables guns, I think, more or less. And we get the Annapolis, which is a Des Moines with an extra turret. We already have that, but we'll see if I think on PC she gets basically the Spanish cruiser salvo fire feature. So we'll see what that looks like. And that is one of these appear to be the only super ships that we have. All right, unique camouflages, more epic commanders, more legendaries commanders, but this is all. So this is the Arpeggio of Blue Steel Ars Nova thing, and Optimus Prime obviously being a Transformers crossover. Lots of more portraits. So this is a lot of this is the collab stuff, and a lot of more frames, titles. Collection book pages. I'm just gonna check if there's anything beyond aesthetics. Title portrait frame and title portrait frame. Yeah, it's just aesthetics. Daily login rewards update. Let's see what's new in October. We get the Yahagi, and I cannot remember what the Yahagi was all about. That's a tier 5 premium, so free tier 5 premium is very nice, especially for new players. But I'll have to probably double check what that thing was all about. And we get Karl von Müller as a German epic commander, and I also can't remember what he was for, so I will have to check that as well. But just be aware that if you're missing a day or two, just check in as much as you can. You don't even have to play. You just have to open the game once a day. But if you miss a game a day or two, you can actually watch up to 3 ads per day, I think, to catch up with your login days. So just don't leave it too late. And if you manage to open the game every day, you get a goodie at the end of the month. So free stuff. Ad optimization, because we're getting to the important parts here. Buttons, gold ads. I'm not sure if anyone actually uses these, but it is a thing. Login rewards. Yeah, I think we had extra login. No, this is extra login rewards. So maybe they changed that. We'll have to see what that looks like, because you used to be able to catch up with the daily logins using ads. But maybe this is changed now, and you get. We'll see what that looks like. New ads for extra rewards. So a bit more in the watch ads and get stuff. Personally, actually, the only place I use ads is for the 50% boost post-battle. So it combines really nicely with boosters. So if I'm leveling commanders, for example, and I had a good game, and I had like 4,000, 5,000 commander XP, and then you watch a 30-second stupid ad that that gives you another 2,500 commander XP plus 50% on top of the everything else as well. That's often worth it, in my opinion. But other than that, sometimes I use them to catch up with the login rewards if there's anything I'm interested in. But usually, otherwise, I don't bother. Limited number of ads can be watched per day. Yes, we don't want to overuse that. And we will see. We'll see what they did with it. Okay. More stuff. Smaller but important modifications. Matchmaking optimization. Yes, please. And unfortunately, it says it's a better balance of ship types and tiers. Tiers has not been a problem, really. Ship types, to a degree. I've had... I think we've all had the games where you're one battleship and then you're faced with 6 destroyers. So hopefully that I mean to a degree, matchmaking has to depend on who's available, right? If there are only people in the queue who are playing destroyers, what's matchmaking going to do? Tell everybody to no, you can't play unless you not play destroyer. So to a degree, at some point, matchmaking has to do a best effort. And also weigh that against time, because you can't leave people in the queue forever, then they just get frustrated and close the game. So at some point you have to say, all right, I've tried my best, I give up, here you go, 6 destroyers on each team. But the other thing, that I hope that they'll get to at some point is to take the player stats into account more. So try to maybe not throw all the legendary players with premium ships fully upgraded in one team, and all the League 6 players in the other team, something like that. New policy link, unique camouflage for Oregon City, a couple of small corrections, new bots added. So we're getting Spanish cruiser bots now. We will see. I don't think bots are able to use ship skills. At least I haven't seen anyone doing it, so I haven't seen any bots smoking up using radar or sonar, at least not from the visuals, and they seem to not also be able to use Damacon and heals. So I would assume that the Spanish cruisers not going to be using their salvo fire. More support page and more survey. Then bug fixes, what do we have? Create event, create exchange button, name overlap, so visuals, descriptions, rewards, small display errors, gold purchase bug, torpedo turret angle issues. Okay, that sounds more interesting. The Z23 and the Hosh, which I haven't tried, Osh probably. I'm not sure what kind of turret angle problems these were, but it's good that they're fixed because we've had the turret bug and we don't want it back. And another visual and a display error. So mostly just kind of visual corrections. More collaborations. The Arpeggio of Blue Steel Ars Nova thing continues. That was an anime that was fun to watch, by the way. And Transformers happens as well now. So we get Transformers ships. I will see if I take a look at these ships. I've got a lot of things to catch up from the past weeks anyway, so I probably will ignore the more outrageously looking stuff, but we'll see. What's up next? Commonwealth cruisers are coming up. So we've sort of seen. I think there was a premium already, but I can't remember what it was about. So we got a tech tree coming from this probably. Then, as we talked about in the very beginning, technical updates for trying to fix the problem, which in my opinion really should be the priority. Like, it's nice to have all these gameplay enhancement, but if nobody can play because everybody gets stuck on the login screen, then it doesn't do any more good to get these kind of improvements over actual bug fixes. UI enhancement incoming. We will see what that looks like. Last time that happened, people were not happy. And I still find the battle opening screen to be almost unreadable compared to the old one. And we have more collaborations. So all in all, they're still working on game stability and trying to fix these problems. The big things that we're getting, it's a really long list. The big things that we're getting, improved download, super ship event, and commander rework, and then we get extra American carriers will get the Commonwealth cruisers coming in. So and a couple of events and stuff. So there's definitely a lot going on. Seems a big update. Let's see how long the server survives, because usually the first day after the update isn't very good. But yeah, that was that, and lots of things for me to investigate and to try out once stuff comes out and once it becomes available. In the meantime, I will try to maybe catch up a little bit with the ships that I've missed in the past weeks. And yeah, see how works around the house are going. Construction's probably still going to go on the outside until January next year, but at least I don't have to be as involved as previously. So hopefully I can get back to more regular contents for everybody. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everyone, and have a great day. Bye bye.